father, read,
and his mother,
read,
and shall cleave unto his wife.
God says Taiwan must cleave to Shakwana as his wife. You must understand, once you sleep with a man, that man is to take you as his wife. The first man you sleep with, that man is to take you as his wife. We must have sexual discipline in Franklin Park. It is high time for us now to have sexual discipline. Read.
And they shall be one flesh.
God says Shakwana and Taiwan will be one flesh. We are the real Jews. So
Ay, I can't do it on my own, but I really need a team. You how on my side like I'm really in a dream. I'm really doing things the corner mind won't believe. I wake up thinking laws and that's how I go to sleep. I'ma laugh when you how put a leash on the beast. Eat him, come lick up the dust of my feet. I'ma follow Christ cause he follow my king. Israelites only, that's how I be. Bible stuck with me, Siamese. I'ma talk to these heathens however I please. You up against the one key, a new jet Lee.
Nation, right? That light is coming to the world. The light has come into the world. We are the light of the world. It's high time for our people to come out of the darkness. America has lied to you. America taught you how to be murderers, thieves, and homosexuals. That's right. It's high time for these so-called Negroes and Spanish to come back to the Most High God. You are the Israelites according to the Bible. You are the chosen people of the Most High. You're not Chico according to the Bible. God hates Chicos. Read. And men love darkness. Many people love darkness instead of the light. You refuse to come to the light. Prove what a light is according to the Bible. Read. And men love darkness rather than light. They love darkness rather than light. What is the light? What is the light according to the Bible? Christ said he is the way and he's the light. Give me Proverbs 6:23. Bring it out. Proverbs 6:23. Get ready to do that. Proverbs 6:23. So what is the light according to the Bible? What is the light? Because this is not the light. This is darkness. According to the Bible, this is the devil the Bible speaks of. That's right. Read. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 23. Read. For the commandment is a lamp. The commandments is a lamp. The commandments of God is the light that we need. Is this Jesus? What's up, bro? Is this Jesus, bro? Yeah. Brody? Yeah. Why don't you give me a minute? Let me talk to you, man. Give me 1 minute. Read what you got. You wouldn't be none on Saturday. Read. For the commandment is a lamp, right? And the law is a light. The law is a light. The laws of God is a light. What's going on, bro? Is this Jesus? Hold on, give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. You can't give me 1 minute? But is this Jesus, though? What color Jesus look like? He's black. Hey, why don't you give me 1 minute? You know you're an Israelite, man. Come holler at me. Come holler at me, man. You already tripping, bro. You got to play and keep the commandments. Like the law is the light. So what does the Most High think about this land? What does the Most High Power think about America? Read that for me.
The book of Job, chapter 10 and verse 22.
Right?
A land of darkness.
This is a land of darkness. This is a land that's defiled, read.
As darkness itself.
Right? Has darkness itself, read.
And of the shadow of death.
Has the shadow of death. Because there's no justice in America. Day in and day out, they kill the so-called Negro and Hispanic, and there's no justice. There's no peace. Give me Jeremiah 6:14. Jeremiah 6:14, Habakkuk 1 and 4. There's no justice in this land. Right? What's going on, brother? You was listening for a while. You was listening for a while.
Man, I always listen.
Hey, come on at me, bro.
It's always good to listen.
It is.
Because I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so what's going on? You was listening right now.
Yeah. How you doing?
Where you from? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm actually from Virginia.
Are you some Indian? Indigenous Indian?
Nah, I really don't know, bro.
Oh, what do you think your father is?
My dad is, was considered black.
Like American?
But my mother was an Irish, mixed woman.
Okay, that's like you came off like an indigenous descent, like look.
Everybody, sometimes they come over and say that I might look like I'm Dominican.
Yeah, you did.
Oh no, man.
You got the whole Dominican glasses and everything.
No.
Right? So,
be honest.
What do you think about what we're bringing out? Because according to the Bible, you're a real truth from the top of the truth.
I believe every word that y'all are saying because my beliefs are a little different. I don't know how y'all. My first time I've seen
Proverbs 27:17.
But I believe that from the taught, young kid, about Jesus, the Bible, and all that stuff. I kind of when I got a little older, I started thinking
real to me. I started drifting off like when I lost my sister, my mom, and all of this stuff. So I kind of like backed out of the religion thing. You know, like I used to expose myself as a Christian. And then I realized when I got into the music business, you know, I was A&R for Motown for like 15 years. So then I moved here. I retired from that and moved here. So I know I look young, but I'm actually 58. Oh, yeah. I thought you were in your 30s, right? Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah. But let me appreciate it. Appreciate it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 17. Iron sharpeneth iron.
I say iron sharpeneth iron, right? We're here to build, right? Because there's some things that we bring out we could be incorrect. Right. There's some history, some sources reporting. We could be incorrect. You could give us right? You don't have all the with the plug. With the plug.
So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
Because you are our friend. You are a fellow Israelite.
Right.
Like you're like indeed, right?
Wow.
Read that for me.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 13. Enter ye in the straight gate.
We got to enter to the straight gate, right? Which is coming back to the laws, statutes, and commandments in the faith of Yahweh Shai. You know, ignorantly call this devil right here, Jesus Christ.
Dang.
Right? We got to go to the straight gate.
I've been doing that forever, man.
Let me finish the scripture.
For wide is the gate.
Wide is all this religion. This religion is all over, right? The straight gate is when you get to the Most High. This is the Holy Bible. Because the Most High never gave us religion. You know this. I don't have to go through this. Right. He gave us all statutes and commandments that he gave to you. Yep. As an Israelite, what is your responsibility?
I really don't know.
Let me show you what the Most High said about the trouble.
Let me get the bag too.
Book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 8. Judah, now art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Most I said about black people, right? My captain right here from the top of Judah. My captain right there from the top of Judah. My captain right here, my officer right here from the top of Judah. Right? He said, you are whom the brethren should praise. But so far, Haitian man, come in, he's wearing sandals and no socks. Who you see wearing sandals and socks? You. And he mimicked you. Everything you do, everybody follows you. Right? Read.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemy.
Once I say thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemy, you're right here still under spirit. You got to
bow down before thee.
They're going to bow down to you because why our leader, powerful leaders come from you. Christ came from you, from you. Right? A lot of our leaders come from you. We look at you as that example, brother. We're still going to be in this predicament until you get up and decide it's time for us to get out of this predicament. Right, Reed?
I really believe
Judah is a lion's whelp.
You guys was a young lion back in the days. When some white man tried you guys come in 20 people on that block. You guys used to be like that. Right? Read.
From the prey.
From the prey, read.
My son,
right?
Thou art gone up.
Now you guys have gone up, read.
He stooped down.
He stooped down, read.
He couched as a lion.
Couched as a lion, read.
And as an old
Now
lion.
you guys are old lions, right? The white man's killing you, killing you, killing you. Why, you ever thought about it? How come it's always black Americans getting shot? You ever thought about that? Do you see Haitians getting shot? Do you see so-called West Indians getting shot? Why do you keep targeting so-called black Americans? Because they think you won't get up. If they did that to one Haitian, the whole community is going to DC, right? Read.
Who shall rouse him up?
Right. Most I ask the question, who's going to make you get up? Who's going to make you come back, keep the commandments, and make your people come back to the Most High? That's the question. Read. Read.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
Most I said the rulership, the authority is not going to come from your hand. Right? Read.
Nor a lawgiver,
read.
From between his feet.
From between your feet. You have a Judite and an Israelite. You have responsibility to come back to lead your people. I'm a Levite according to the Bible. I'm a priest. I'm supposed to help you out. Right? Why you do the work of the Most High? I'm supposed to assist you. I'm your advisor, brother. It's high time for you to come back to the Most High.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 13. When I have bent Judah for me,
right?
Filled the bow with Ephraim.
Read it again. Let's take our time so I can break it down for you. Read.
When I have bent Judah for me.
The Most High said when you have bent Judah for him, Judah's the bow. Right? It's a bow. Does it serve any purpose by itself? Just a regular bow? Or let's say a gun. A gun without no bullets, does it serve a purpose? No, Judah's the gun. Read.
Filled the bow with Ephraim.
I put the bullets, the chamber, right, with the so-called Hispanics, so-called Puerto Ricans, right? Right, put those two together, read.
And raised up thy sons.
And raised us up. When we come back together, we come back and serve the Most High, he said he's going to raise us up, read.
O Zion,
right?
Against thy sons.
Against the who?
Against thy sons.
Against their sons, read.
Greece.
Or who?
O Greece.
Or what?
O Greece.
Or who?
O Greece.
Who are the ancient Greeks? Greeks. These guys right here, these are the ancient Greeks. That's the Greeks, those are Greek babies right there. We will never come and conquer our enemies. We will never come back and be on top as a people until we come back and serve the Most High. We need to learn to conquer ourselves before we conquer the world. We need to learn to stop eating pork before we start having servants. When we thirsty, we need some water. You got 5 people running to give you Zephyr Hills water. Deuteronomy 5 verse 1. Deuteronomy 5 verse 1. Right? But it's time for you to come back to the Most High. The Most High has a lot of things waiting for our people. Actually, maybe Psalm 28. Give me Deuteronomy 5 verse 1. Hold on. Because there's a lot of things waiting for us.
Give his son to? Who did God give his son to? We read it in Acts 5:29. We just read it. He gave it to Israel. Okay, give me Matthew 1:21. Matthew 1:21.
The book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 21. Matthew 1 and verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people.
See, there it goes again. Possessive pronoun. For he shall save his people. Okay, what type of word is his? If I say those are his shoes, what does that mean? It belongs to him. It doesn't belong to somebody else. Okay? So he said his people. Okay? What was the ethnicity of the Messiah? Give me Hebrews 7:14. What was the heritage of the Messiah? What was he? He was a Jew, right? So who are his people? The Jews. Okay? Quite evidently. Okay? Give me Hebrews 7:14.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 14. For it is evident.
What is what?
For it is evident.
So evident means what? It's a fact. It's crystal clear. Come on.
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah.
That Christ came out of the tribe of Judah. Okay? The fourth-born son of Jacob. Give me Jeremiah 14 verse 2. Jeremiah 14 verse 2. Okay? Instead of you trying to find a scapegoat scripture, you need to copy these stuff down. Your pastor lied to you. Okay? He lied to you, my friend. Okay? Great. Jeremiah 14 and 2.
Jeremiah chapter 14 verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black.
They are who?
They are black. Onto the ground.
So the Bible says that the real Jews are black unto the ground. Different shades of brown. Give me Song of Solomon 1 verse 1 and jump down to the 5th verse. They say there's no color in the Bible. There's color after the Bible. But you say, well, color doesn't matter. But why do they keep putting up this false image if color doesn't matter?
Because that was the image that was just accepted through a society that was built here in America.
But they say, God bless America.
It was actually built through the English society. So, I mean, that was England. But
he was brown.
right.
So are you telling me?
I'm just saying that.
Ken. Shemaya Sharella. Welcome to another Wednesday of Wisdom. And today's topic is the God of the Bible about revenge? So we're going to get into some scriptures, delving into that. I know a lot of churches won't get into this, but this is what we're going to get into right now. All right, let me open up with Colossians 3 and 17.
It's the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17.
Bring it up.
And whatsoever ye do in word or deed,
And whatsoever you do in word or deed, whatever we speak, and the actions that follow behind it, read.
do all in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Father, giving thanks to Yahweh and the Father by him.
Give it thanks to Yahweh and the Father by him. Like we said, we only use Well, the scriptures say Jesus. That's only for edification case. But his name is Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the Father and Son, in the Hebrew tongue. All right. Now we're going to go to Proverbs 11 in verse 1.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
A false balance.
A what?
A false balance.
A false balance, read.
Is abomination to the Most High.
Is a what?
Abomination to the Most High.
It's an abomination. That means it's a disgusting thing to the Most High. Now, the only reason why I went here, because I like to show the difference between, the good and the bad, up and the down. There's got to be a balance between the Most High. Because everything can't be just one-sided, like churches. When you go to these Christianity churches, I've never been to a church where they talk about, the destruction and bad things are going to happen. There's always talk about what sounds good and what makes people feel good. And like I said, the Most High is about balance, just like this Bible is about balance. There's good and bad in it. So we're going to go into the book of Isaiah, chapter 45. And see, and verse 7.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7.
Read.
I form the light.
The Most High God said he forms the light. Read.
And create darkness.
He does what?
Create darkness.
See, the Most High God.
I make peace.
He makes peace.
And create evil.
He does what?
And create evil.
And he creates evil. The reason why I went to Proverbs 11:1 is to show you in this verse that there's a balance between good and evil. Because the Most High is in control of everything. You know what I'm saying? The devil doesn't have power over the Most High. The Most High has power over him. Okay? So the devil goes to the Most High for instructions. Read.
I, the Most High, do all these things.
I, the Most High, do all these things. Okay? Like I said, the Most High is in control. Okay? He's running the show. He's the director. We're just actors in the play. So everybody has a role. Everybody has a nationality within the scriptures. All right, let me get up Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 4. All right, the book of Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 4.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. The Most High had made all things for himself.
He said the Most High had made all things himself, just like we went over in Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7, read.
Yeah, even the wicked.
Even the who?
The wicked.
Even the wicked, read.
For the day of evil.
For the day of good.
For the day of evil.
For the day of evil. You understand? Like I said, there's a balance between everything. All right, so we're going to go into the book of Exodus chapter 2 and verse 1. I'm going through these specific scriptures dealing with our captivity as a whole, as a nation. So, and at the end, I'll show you why I'm going through all these scriptures dealing with our captivity as a nation of people. All right, you bring it out, King.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took to wife a daughter of Levi, and the woman conceived and bare a son.
Bear who?
A son.
A son, read.
And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could not longer hid him, and she cannot no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes.
Yeah, bulrushes.
And dubbed it with slime and with pitch.
And daubed it with slime and with pitch, read.
And put the child therein. And she laid it in the flags by the river's brink.
And she laid it by the flags of the river brinks, read.
And his daughter stood afar off to wit what will be done to him.
And it said, and his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done with him. Meaning she just standing there to see what was going to happen, because she just keeping an eye on him. Read on.
Verse 5. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river sides. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept.
And the babe wept, the babe cried. Read.
And she had compassion on him,
and
said, this is one of the Hebrew children.
This is one of the who?
This is one of the Hebrews' children.
This is one of the Hebrews' children. Read.
Then said his sister to the Pharaoh daughter, shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew woman?
Of the Hebrew woman. Read.
The child for thee?
And
Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the maid went and called the child mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it.
Read on.
10. And the child grew, and she brought him up. She brought him unto the Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses.
Call his name who?
Moses.
Moses, or Marshal in the Hebrew. Read.
And she said, because I drew him out of the water, and it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown.
And this is the it's just it's like a process of time. They're just speeding up the story here. And the reason why I'm going to this specific scripture in this story is to show that revenge is in the scriptures. So I'm just giving the first account of actually our people getting revenge on another nation. Bring it out.
That he went out unto his brethren.
His brethren, read.
And looked on their burdens.
And he looked on their burdens. He looked on their struggle, their what they're going through. Read.
And he spied in Egyptian smiting in Hebrew.
Doing what?
Smiting in Hebrew.
So Moses is spying on this Egyptian. He's like, hold up. He's over here smiting my kinsman, my brother. You know what I'm saying? A fellow Hebrew. He's just like me. Because Moses knew he was who he was growing up in Egypt. Read.
One of his brethren.
He said one of his brethren.
And he looked this way and that way.
And Moses looked around, make sure the coast is clear. Read.
And when he saw that there was no man.
When he saw there was nobody around, what happened?
He slew the Egyptian.
He did what?
He slew the Egyptian.
He slew the Egyptian. Read.
And hid him in the sand.
And he buried him in sand. You understand? Now, in these days, I wish a lot of our people could relate to this. But instead, I feel like some of our people are against us as a nation of people. You understand? They'll be quick to defend other nations, but they won't defend us. You understand? That's the reason why we're so divided and separated as a nation of people. We have a hard time coming together like Zephaniah 2:1. You understand? Because of the curses. Because we hate each other. We have an evil eye towards our own brother. You understand? And this is all we're trying to do when we go out to the highways and byways. We're trying to tell our people, you know what I'm saying? This is a brotherhood. We're all family. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be out here shooting, killing each other over women, shoes, money. This is not what we're supposed to be doing as a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to love our brother. You know what I'm saying? Bring it out.
Verse 13.
And
when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow?
He said, why you smite that fellow? Read.
And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Attendest thou to kill me?
He said, you intend thou to kill me?
As thou killest the Egyptians?
As thou killest the Egyptian, as I kill the Egyptian? Read on.
And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard these things, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh.
And Moses caught wind of what happened, because that's his fellow Egyptian. So he caught wind of who did it, and Moses went to go flee. Read.
And dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well.
And he sat down by the well. Let me get Exodus 15:3. Because a lot of people, when they read the Bible, I don't know how you have a Bible and think the Most High is all about love and this. It just can't be. There's so many pages within this book. It's like, how do you skip over the death and the killing? Nations going against this nation. All right? I just don't get it. I don't know how you do that. But these pastors, they're not going to go over that. You know what I'm saying? They've been set up by the government to lead our people astray, to keep our people asleep. All right? So let me get Exodus 15:3.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 3.
And
the Most High is a man of war.
The Most High is a man of who?
Of war.
The Most High is a man of war. Read.
The Most High is his name.
The Most High is his name. You understand? So let's get into, we're going to go back to Exodus. We're going to go to Exodus chapter 1. We're going to read verse 8 through 14.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt.
Now there arose up a new king for the Egyptians, read.
Which knew not Joseph.
And they knew not Joseph.
And he said unto his people,
what did he say?
Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Uh-huh.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
Because they started to fear the children of Israel. You understand? Because we started to multiply as a nation of people. And they fear that, you know, us growing in number is going to just overtake the Egyptians. So they say, you know what, let's deal wisely with these people. You understand? Read.
Lest they multiply.
Lest they multiply, lest they grow bigger as a nation. Read.
And it came to pass that when they're falling out any war, they join also unto our enemies.
And they fear that we're going to join with another side of a nation. And we're going to overtake them. Read.
And fight against us.
And do what?
And fight against us.
And fight against the Egyptians. Read.
And so get them up out of the land.
And Pharaoh wanted them out of the land. Read.
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters.
They set over what?
Taskmasters.
Taskmasters. That's like your job. Your boss at your job. You know what I'm saying? Taskmasters. Read.
To afflict them with their burdens.
To do what?
To afflict them with their burdens.
To inflict them, to cause pain with their burdens. Read.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. Just like how we built up America. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty much, free labor. And this is the same situation that happened back here in the Exodus. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing carry on today in today's time in America. Read on.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
The more they multiplied and grew as a nation.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
And they were grieved at the children of Israel. Read.
And the Egyptian made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
With rigor, that means hard bondage. You understand? Read.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage. And mortar and then brick. And then all manner of service in the field. All their service were in, they made them serve was with rigor.
With rigor. All right. Let me get to Exodus 14 and verse. What's that? Let's see here. 13 and 14.
Oh, 13 and 14.
Yeah, I'm going to jump there.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 14.
Oh, 14? What? Chapter 14 and verse 13.
Oh, it's like
yeah.
Chapter 14, verse 13.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 13. And Moses said unto the people,
what did he say?
Fear ye not.
He said, fear ye not. Read.
Stand still. And see the salvation of the Most High.
And see the who?
Salvation of the Most High.
And see the salvation of the Most High. Read.
Which he will show to you today.
And he will show you this day. Read.
For the Egyptian whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever.
Forever. Read.
The Most High shall fight for you.
What he should do?
The Most High shall fight for you.
And the Most High is going to fight for us as a nation of people. If we was to come back to the law, statutes, commandments. Read.
And ye shall hold your peace. And the Most High said unto Moses, Wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward.
And the Most High said unto Moses, Wherefore why criest unto me? Why are you speaking to me? Speak to the children of Israel that they can go forward. You understand? So he's giving them the command to lead them out. But we're going to jump to Judges. Okay? Because I know the captivity of the Egyptians is a pretty long process throughout the book of Exodus. We're going to jump to the book of Judges. No, chapter 3 and verse 1. For the process of time. I'm just going through a little of the different captivities that we went through as a nation of people. So I'm just going through little by little. Just touch on those. Like towards the end, I reveal why the Most High is about revenge.
I'm going into Jude. I'm going into Jude.
Yeah. The book of Judges. It's right after Deuteronomy.
Okay.
Okay.
Judges, what verse?
The book of Judges, chapter 3, and we're going to read verse 1 through 31.
It's the book of Judges, chapter 3, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Now these are the nations which the Most High left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known of the wars of Canaan. Canaan. Only that the generation of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war.
To teach them what?
To teach them war.
To teach them war. Just like we read in Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. You know what I'm saying? Read.
At the list such as before knew nothing thereof, namely 5 lords of the Philistines.
Of the Philistines
and all the Canaanites.
All the Canaanites, read.
And the Sidonians.
Oh, you can say Sidonians.
Sidonians. And the Hivites. That dwell in Mount Lebanon. From the Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering in all Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Most High.
And they were proved to Israel by them to know whether they would hearken, or you could say hear or listen, unto the commandments of the Most High. Read.
Which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses.
By the hand of who?
By the hand of Moses.
By the hand of Moses. Read.
And the children of Israel dwell among them. The children of Israel dwell among the Canaanites, Hittites, and the Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites.
And Israel dwelt among them. You know what I'm saying? I guess we kind of mingled within these nations. Read.
And they took their daughters to be their wives.
And they did what?
Their daughters to be their wives.
And they took their daughters to be their wives. Read.
And give their daughters to their sons. And serve their gods.
And serve other gods. You know what? I just thought about something. After reading the scripture, let me get Deuteronomy 7:1. That reminds me of that precept. We were supposed to not mingle with these nations. It's not on my list, but we can go there. All right. Bring it up.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 1.
Read.
When the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it.
Wherever we go to possess the land, wherever we go, read.
And had cast out many nations before thee.
And we had cast out many nations before them. Read.
The Hittites.
The who?
The Hittites.
The Hittites. We read about them. Hittites. Read.
And the Gergetites. And the Amorites. And the Canaanites. And the Perizzites. And the Hivites. And the Jebusites. 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
He said these are 7 nations mighty and greater than thou. I guess they're must be a large nation of people. Jump to 2. Read.
And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them.
Thou shalt what?
Smite them.
And we shall smite them. Read.
And utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
And we're not supposed to make covenant with these nations. You understand? Read.
Nor show mercy unto them.
And the Most High say you're not supposed to show mercy on these people. You understand? So where do people get the concept of the Most High God being all love? And you know, I don't know how you not read the scriptures. You understand? Read.
Neither shalt thou make marriages.
Say what?
Neither shall make marriages with them.
And we're not supposed to make marriages with these nations. You understand? Because once we get into that, they're going to introduce to us their gods and their cultures. But we as a nation of people, we have our own culture. You understand? It's within the scriptures. Read.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son. Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
For they will do what?
Take away thy son from following me.
And they're going to turn away you from following the Most High and his laws and his statutes and commandments. And a prime example of that is Solomon. You understand? He dealt with all these nations of women. You understand? 700 wives, 300 concubines. And he loved them. And they turned his heart away. And that's how the kingdom fell and it split. Read on.
That they may serve other gods.
That they may what?
That they may serve other gods.
And that we're going to serve other gods. You understand? That's like somebody being in a house and you yourself, you know Hamashiach Yahushua, you know how he looks, his description, what he stands for. But then your other half, she knows Cesar Borgia. So you pretty much got a house divided. So how does that look? That don't make no kind of sense at all. You praising Yahweh Shai, she's praising Jesus. Or Sister Bozier. You understand? That doesn't make no sense. Read on.
So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you.
So the anger of the Most High will be kindled against you. Read.
And destroy thee suddenly.
And destroy thee suddenly. All right. So let's go back. Back to Judges. All right. We at 3 and 5. Okay.
Well, 3 is, yeah, we can start from 5.
Yeah.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 3, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And the children of Israel dwell amongst the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Amorites,
And Amorites, read.
and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and Jebusites. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and give their daughters to their sons, and serve their gods.
And we serve their gods, read.
And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Most High, and forget the Most High their power.
And we forgot the Most High God. Once we started dealing with these people, it was like, man, we just put the Most High to the back seat and started serving everybody else's gods, read.
And serve Balaam.
And serve Balaam, read.
Balaam in the groves.
In the groves, read.
Therefore, the anger of the Most High was hot against Israel.
And the Most High God was hot, man. He was mad for us doing that thing, for us going off as a nation. Read.
And he sold them into the hand of Churshon Rishatham, king of Mesopotamia. And the children of Israel served Kersherish 8 years.
How many years?
8 years.
8 years of bondage. Because we went off as a nation of people. What's that?
8 years. Wow.
8 years, man. Read on.
And when the children of Israel cried unto the Most High,
and when they cried and they prayed on to the Most High, read on.
The Most High raised up and delivered to the children of Israel.
He raised up a who?
The Most High raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel.
And it seems like every time we go into captivity, the Most High got to send somebody to like break us out. It's like break them out of jail. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same situation just keep repeating and repeating. The same thing's gonna happen here in America. Mashiach Yahweh has to come back to redeem us as a nation. You know what I'm saying? Because we here is, serving servitude. Read.
Who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother.
Caleb's younger brother, read.
And the spirits of the Most High came upon him, and he judged Israel, and went out to war. And the Most High delivered Cushan Rishatham, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand.
And they delivered him into his hand. Pretty much they just, here, you can have him. Read.
And his hand prevailed against Cushan Rishatham. And the land has rest 40 years. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Most High.
And they did what?
They did evil again in the sight of the Most High.
It's like a cycle, man. It's like when we seem to be winning, we losing. When we're winning, we losing. Winning, losing. It's like a constant thing. It's like consistent. Read on.
And the Most High strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Most High.
Because they had did what?
They had done evil in the sight of the Most High.
And we did evil in the sight of the Most High God. Again, read.
And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of palm trees. So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years.
18 years? God, well, that's a long time. I mean, man, it's like we just stay in captivity, man.
Yeah,
we just love it. I don't understand. I just don't get it, man. Go ahead.
Verse 15.
Verse 15.
But when the children of Israel cried unto the Most High,
and when we cried and when we prayed unto the Most High, Yahweh, read.
The Most High raised them up a deliverer.
Another deliverer. And who is it?
Ehud.
Who?
Ehud,
read.
The son of Gera.
The son of Gera.
A Benjamite.
A what?
A Benjamite.
A Benjamite, read.
A man left-handed.
And a man that's left-handed, read.
And by him the children of Israel sent a present unto Eglon, the king of Moab.
But
Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges.
And he made him a dagger which had 2 edges. Read.
Of a cubit length. And he did gird and he did gird it unto his raiment upon his right thigh. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man.
He was a what?
A very fat man. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bear the present. But he himself turned again from the
quarries.
Again from the quarries that were by Gilgal. And said, I have secret errand unto thee, O king. Who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him. And he came unto him, and he was sitting in the summer parlor, which he had for himself alone.
A summer parlor. It's not like a private room or something like that. Something where he's like, he's like in his comfort zone.
Right.
Yeah, read.
Which he had for himself alone. And he had said, I have a message from the Most High unto thee.
And he had said, I have a message from the Most High to give to you. Read.
And he arose out of his seat. And he had put forth his left hand and took the dagger from his right thigh and thrust it unto his belly.
And then what?
Thrust it into his belly.
Wow, that was like a sleight of hand.
What?
That was slick.
Yeah.
He said he put forth his left hand and then with it
thrust it into his belly.
Yeah. And took the dagger from his right thigh and thrust it into his belly. Man.
That boy fat, man.
he threw him off with that one, boy. He's like, I'm gonna show you this hand, but with my right hand I got a knife.
Good.
Man, that was slick. Go ahead.
And the half also went in after the blade.
Man, it said, and the half also went in. That must have been a serious cut, like deep.
Yeah.
A deep cut. Read.
And the fat closed upon the blade.
And the fat closed upon the blade. Read.
So that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly.
And he couldn't much take the dagger out. That's how deep it was in. That's a deep plunge. He couldn't much take the dagger out. Read.
And the dirt came out.
And the what came out?
The dirt came out.
Man, this guy don't take showers? He said the dirt came out. That's crazy. Read on.
Then Ehud went forth through the porch and shut the door of the parlor.
He's like he's leaving the scene, and he had time to shut the doors of the parlor. Read.
Upon him and locked them.
And he locked it up. I can see why everybody just walk in and see the scene. Read.
When he was gone out, his servant came, and when they saw that, behold, the door of the parlor were locked. They said, surely he covered his feet in his summer chamber. And they tarried till they were ashamed. And behold, he opened not the door of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them. And behold, the Most High was falling down dead on the earth.
He said, their Lord.
Their Lord, Lord was falling down dead on the earth. And Ehud escaped while they tarried, and passes beyond the carriers.
And Ehud escaped. He left the scene.
And escaped unto Sarath. And it came to pass, when he was come dead, he blew a trumpet into the mountain of Ephraim. And the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them. And he said unto them, follow after me.
He said, the what?
Follow after me.
I guess he's like leading the charge. Read.
For the Most High had delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand.
He said he delivered the Moabites into your hand. The Most High just gave them to him. Read.
And they went down. Read. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel.
And so Moab was subdued by Yasharallah. All right, all praises. Read.
And the land had rested 80 years. And after him was Shemgar, the son of Anath, which slew of the Philistines 600 men with an ox guard.
With an ox goad.
Gold.
Ox goad.
Ox gold.
Okay.
And he also delivered Israel. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Most High. It's like when Ehud was dead, and the Most High sold into the hand of the Jabin king of Canaan, the rain in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto the Most High, and he had 900 chariots of irons. In 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel.
And the children of Israel were oppressed. I want to look for this word. Yeah, gold. Let me see.
Gold.
What does that
Ox
word
gold.
mean? Ox gold.
Is that like, I was thinking like, could have been like, what's that thing called? Like a guillotine?
A gold?
It's a forming.
Oh, you gonna put it up on there? Yeah. Okay, you can put it up there. That word is only shown one time. So let me see here. Interlinear. You got it? What does it say? The goad is a traditional farming implement used to spur or guide livestock. Usually oxen. Oh, that's why they say ox goad. Okay. Okay, it's like a farming tool.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I see it. I was trying to figure out what is an ox goad. All right. Mm-hmm. 3. Okay. All right. Through 6:1, verse 9. Okay. Let me get Isaiah 30 and verse 1.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children.
What the Most High say?
Woe to the rebellious children.
It says, woe, destruction to the rebellious children, because all people were rebellious, read.
Said the Most High.
Said the Most High,
That take counsel by not of me.
And we take counsel by these other nations, but not of the Most High. You understand? Read.
And that covered with a covering, but not of my spirit.
It said, not of my spirit, word, read.
That they may add sin to sin.
That they may do what?
Add sin to sin.
That they may add sin to sin, read.
That walk to go down into Egypt.
That walk to go down to America or spiritual Egypt, read.
And have not asked at my mouth.
And we have not asked at his mouth. Okay, we ask of these other nations. We try to find wisdom in different books and different philosophies and doctrines instead of going to the scriptures to look for the answers, read.
To strengthen them. It's like to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
And the strength of Pharaoh, read.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
And we trust in the shadow of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Just like how the last Wednesday wisdom, how, you know, the children of Israel was talking about, why you got to bring us out in this wilderness so we can die out here? We was better off in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? It was reminiscent of all the stuff they had and all the food they ate. Yeah, the flesh plots and all that stuff and the leeks. It's the same thing, man. Like I said, you know, it's going to happen again once here in America. It's going to be the same thing. Let me see. Isaiah 30 and verse 12. You jump down to 12.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 12.
Wherefore thus says the Holy One of Israel.
The Holy One of Israel, read.
Because you despise this word.
What our people do?
You despise this word.
They despise this word. When we go out to the highways and byways to teach our people, to compel them to come in, they despise this word. You understand? It's something that they're not used to hearing. Because all they want to hear is a song and a dance in the church houses, you know, and then go back to the streets and do their wickedness. You understand? Read.
And trust in oppression and perverseness.
And what our people do? Trust in what?
Oppression and perverseness.
And perverseness.
Perverseness. And stay their own.
And they do what?
Stay their own.
And we stay their own. You understand? But that's the thing wrong with our people. We trust in oppression. You understand? We trust in another nation ruling over us, being over us. Just like how our people going out to vote. How you going to vote for another nation of people rule over you? You understand? Why don't y'all just vote for somebody that looks just like you, the same lineage, the same kindred, you understand, the same bloodline? But we're not going to do that because we're not a rulership as a nation of people. So we're trying to look for answers in another nation to help us out. in our situation, but it doesn't change. But this is what we should be doing. Let me get Ecclesiastes 7:7. This is what we should be doing as a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? This is how we should feel. Okay? Or we're not gonna find answers going to the polls and wait in line 2-3 hours trying to vote for another nation of people to rule over us. Because that's simply what we're doing.
Ecclesiastes.
Yeah, but Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 7. Ecclesiastes?
Okay.
I think you're going too far back.
Oh, too far?
Yeah, it's like before Proverbs, after.
It's right after Proverbs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before Isaiah.
Yeah. For it.
Yeah, 7 and 7.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. We should be mad as a nation of people, what we're going through, okay? But for some reason, we got, let's just say, I'm trying to look for a word. We look for things to make us feel comfortable, you know what I'm saying, whether it's money or drugs or anything in this society to keep us comfortable as a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? Read.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
It said, no who?
A gift destroyeth the heart.
It said, a gift destroyeth the heart. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we should be feeling as a nation of people. We should be upset at the oppression that our people are going through as a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? But we worry about these other nations. We support their businesses. We won't support ours. You know what I'm saying? It's too expensive. But they put it brought out. But this is wrong with us. We don't know how to unite as a nation of people. We go everywhere else to support other people, but we can't support our own. You know what I'm saying? Just like the scripture says, that find you once to gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire. Where that nation not desire. You know what I'm saying? So we go into Judges chapter 10 and verse 14. The book of Judges chapter 10 verse 14. Like I said earlier, I'm just touching on a little bit of the captivity that we've been through as a nation of people, and there's going to be a reason for it towards the end of the lesson. Right? Bring it up.
It's the book of Judges, chapter 10, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen.
What the Most High said?
Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen.
It said, go and cry to the other gods which you have chosen. And that's our problem as a nation of people. We like to serve other nations, serve their deities. Read.
Let them deliver you,
and what?
Let them deliver you.
The Most High is saying, like, let them deliver you. Let them get you out of the situation. You know what I'm saying? That's like us going to serve the other gods. We serve another nation of people when we go out to vote. Like, it's going to deliver us out of our situation. It's not going to do that. You know? No matter who you vote for, you vote for lesser of two evils. I mean, what difference does it make? They both have faults. Whether it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden, what they call him, Sleepy Joe, whatever. It don't matter. You stand in the polls for 2-3 hours to vote for these people. They're not going to help you out of your situation. You're still going to be paying bills. You're still going to be gunned down as a nation of people. You're still going to fill the prison houses. You're still going to be racially discriminated. So what's going to change? Nothing. Read.
Deliver you in the time of your tribulation.
He said, let them deliver you in the time of your tribulations. You know what I'm saying? Because we seek for them for answers instead of the Most High to get us out of this situation. All right? Now let me get what Judges?
Yeah, that was Judges 10 and 14.
Okay, let me get Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 15. Read on.
30 and 15.
Okay.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 15.
Read on.
Why criest thou for thine affliction?
The Most High is saying, why are you crying out to me for your affliction?
Read on.
Thy sorrow is incurable.
He said, your sorrow is incurable. Read.
For the multitude of thy iniquity.
He said, for the multitude, that seems like a lot of thine iniquity. For the multitude of your iniquities. Read.
Because thy sins were increased.
Because thy what?
Thy sins were increased.
He said, because thy sins were increased. Read on.
I have done these things unto thee.
That's why the Most High has done these things to us as a nation of people. Slavery, incarceration, and racial discrimination, being shot down, no justice, no peace. This is why we're going through it as a nation of people. Because of our sins. And the Most High is saying, why are you crying out to me? You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me see here. I wanted to get something.
That makes sense.
You got a preset? Okay, what's your preset? Psalm 78. Psalm 78.
49. Con.
78 and 49, you say?
Con.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the book of Psalm chapter 8, it's like a chapter 78, verse 49.
Read on.
He casts upon them the fierceness of his anger.
Of his what?
Of his anger.
Of his anger. Okay, the Most High is, he gets angry too. He's not all about being one-sided and happy all the time. Read.
Wrath. And indignation.
Indignation. Read.
In trouble.
And what?
In trouble.
And trouble. Read.
By sending evil angels amongst them.
By sending what kind of angels?
Evil angels among them.
Evil angels among them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said the Most High is about balance. Saying he's in control of the good and the bad. The right and the left, the up and down, everything. Hot, cold, no matter what it is. The Most High is in control of everything we're doing here as a nation of people. Let me get what was it, Isaiah? There was one scripture that I thought about that after we read in Isaiah. That was in Isaiah. There was one I was looking for. Let's see here. No, that's not it. Is it Jeremiah? That's one I was looking for. Okay. It was a scripture I was looking for, but I couldn't find it. Alright. Let's see here.
You talking about 55 and 6? Is that the one?
Nah. It was the one I was looking for. No, that's not it. Okay. Let's see here. Alright, let me get Jeremiah chapter 25 and verse 1.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. That was the 1st year of, what's his name?
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
King of who?
King of Babylon.
King of Babylon. Read.
The which Jeremiah the prophet spake unto all the people of Judah and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying,
saying what?
From the 13 years of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, even unto this day, that is the 23rd year, the word of the Most High have come upon. It's like the word of the Most High had come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking. But ye have not hearkened.
He said, but ye have not hearkened. Because that's a lot of years. He's bringing this word out. But you don't want to, all people don't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? Read.
And the Most High have sent unto you all his servants, the prophets.
All his what?
Servants, the prophets.
And that's what we're doing with our people. You know what I'm saying? We go out to the highways and the byways to reach our people, to compel them, to bring them, to bid them back to the marriage, to tell them that they're nationality, tell them who they are, tell them that they're the children of Israel. You know what I'm saying? It's high time to wake out of sleep, to come back. Read.
Rising early and rising early.
He said, rising early.
And sending them. But ye have not hearkened.
But ye have not listened. Read.
Nor incline your ears to hear.
He said, nor incline your ears to hear. Read.
They said, turn ye again now everyone from his evil way.
And that's what we're trying to do. He said, turn ye again now everyone from his evil way. Read.
And from the evil of your doings. And dwell in the land that the Most High have given unto you and your fathers forever and ever.
Read.
And go not after other gods to serve them.
And do what?
And go not after other gods to serve them. And to worship them.
And to worship them. Read.
And provoke me not to anger.
And provoke the Most High not to anger. The Most High, he gets upset. You know what I'm saying? Just like how we are. If the Most High created us in our image, should we then have the same attributes? Should now we get mad, jealous, angry, happy? So I don't understand how, Christianity, the churches, think the Most High is one-sided. That's not possible. There's no logic to that. Read.
With the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Yet ye have not hearkened unto me.
Say, yet you haven't listened unto me. Read.
Said the Most High, that ye might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. You repeat that again.
Go ahead.
Therefore, thus said the Most High of hosts, because ye have not heard my words.
Because ye haven't listened to my words, or hearkened. Read.
Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, said the Most High, and the Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land.
He said he's going to bring them against this land. He's going to set these nations unto us. Read.
And against the inhabitants thereof, and against all this nation round about, and will utterly destroy them.
And will what?
Utterly destroy them.
Read on.
And make them in astonishment, and in hissing, and perpetual desolations.
And a perpetual desolation is ongoing. Read.
Moreover, I will take them from the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle. And this whole land shall be desolation and astonishment.
And astonishment, read.
And these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years.
How long?
70 years.
70 years, read.
And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon.
He said, after all that, after 70 years, and then I'll punish the king of Babylon. Man, read on. That's crazy. Read on.
And the nation said the Most High, for the iniquity, the land of the Chaldeans, and will make a perpetual desolations.
And make it a perpetual desolation. Read.
And I will bring upon the land all my words, which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah have prophesied against all nations.
He said, which Jeremiah have prophesied against all the nations. Okay, read.
For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds.
And I will do what?
Recompense them according to their deeds.
He said, I will recompense. I mean, it's like a payment. You know what I'm saying? For all their deeds. It's like the Most High is building up these nations against us just to tear them down. You know what I'm saying? That's like I would like to compare the little kids, they have like a building block and like a little playpen area, and they just knock everything down. That's what the Most High is doing with these nations. He just toying with it. You understand? Read on.
And according to the works of their own hands. For thus said the Most High power of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand.
You say what?
Take the wine cup of this fury at my hand.
You said, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand. Read on.
And cause all nations
to do what?
To whom I sent thee to drink it.
To do what?
To whom I sent thee to drink it.
To drink it. Man, that's crazy. Hold on. I think it was one I was looking for. Let's see here. Oh, okay. It was it's a different nationality. I mean, it's a 21. That's a reference to iniquity. But I was going to go there, but you don't have to go there. Okay. Well, yeah, your hand raised up. Oh, okay. Continue.
Okay. So like,
yeah.
Okay. And they shall drink and be moved, and be mad.
And be what?
Be mad.
And be mad, read.
Because of the sword that I will send among them.
Because the Most High say He's going to send a sword against them, read.
Then took I the cup at the Most High hand, and made all the nations to drink unto them, unto whom the Most High had sent me, to wit Jerusalem, and the city of Judah, and the king thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and astonishment, and hasten and a cause as it is this day,
and a curse as it is this day. Read.
Pharaoh king of Egypt.
Who?
Pharaoh king of Egypt.
Now he's going back to Pharaoh and the kings of Egypt. Read.
And his servants.
And his servants. Read.
And his princes.
And
all his people.
No, some of his people.
All his people.
And all his people. Read.
And all that mangled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Azar, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the king of Zidon, and the king of the isle which are beyond the sea.
This almost sounds like Psalms 83. It sounds like the rundown the same name of these nations. Yeah, read on.
Dedan and Tema and Buz and all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mangled people that dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, and all Medes, so like Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Shishak shall drink after them.
Man, that's a list.
That's crazy.
The Most High, like, he got a hit list on them. That's a lot of nations, man. These nations, man, they got something coming for them.
Definitely coming.
Read on.
Therefore, thou shalt say unto them, thus says the Most High of hosts, the Most High, the God of Israel, the power of Israel.
The power of Israel. Read.
Drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall, and rise no more.
And rise no more. Read on.
Because of the sword which I will send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thy hands to drink.
If they refuse to take the cup at thy hand to drink, read on.
Then shalt thou say unto them, thus says the Most High of hosts, you shall certainly drink.
He's like, he's refusing. That's like you trying to force somebody. He's like, I don't want it. But you going to drink it anyway.
You going to drink it.
It's like you dipping your hand over the bottle. Like, drink this. Read on.
For lo, I began to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and shall ye be utterly unpunished.
He's like, he says a question. He said, and should ye be utterly unpunished? You understand? That's a question. Read.
Ye shall not be unpunished.
He said, you should not be unpunished. Read.
For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth.
Wow, man. You ain't leaving no rock unturned. Read.
Said the Most High of hosts. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words.
He said, therefore prophesy thou against them all these words. Read.
And say unto them.
Say what?
The Most High shall roar from on high.
The Most High shall do what?
Roar on high.
He shall roar from on high. Read.
And utter his voice from his holy habitation.
Man, that sounds like a loud shout. Read.
And he shall mightily war up upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as that thread the grapes against all the habitants of the earth. And Noah shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Most High have controversy with the nations. He will plead all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, said the Most High. Thus said the Most High of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation in a great whirlwind, shall be raised up from the coats of the earth. It's like verse 33. And the slain of the Most High shall be at the day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth.
It said, what? It said, and the slain of the Most High shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Man, that's a lot of slain.
Yeah.
Read on.
This shall not be lamented, neither gathered, nor buried. This shall be dung upon the ground.
All right, hold on right there. It said, they shall not be lamented. I mean, you ain't got time to mourn for these people.
Yeah.
Neither gather, you can't gather them up, nor bury. You ain't got time to bury these people. They should be dung upon the earth. I mean, that's going to be like piles and piles of bodies. Now, my thing is, why the church don't get into this? They ain't going to want to bring this scripture out. The churches don't want to touch this stuff, man. Everybody's going to leave the church. And the pastor come out and read this scripture, man. Oh, man. More people are led astray, man. It's like the sheep led to the slaughter.
What?
That's crazy.
Is there precept for that about him having corpses? The slain of the most are going to be many?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a precept for this, looks like.
Do you know that precept?
I know it, but I don't know where it is.
You said you don't know where it is? I know what you're talking about. But if you can find time to look for it, you can find it. Let me see something here. I'm trying to get into the Apocrypha. I'm looking for something. Let me see here. Oh yeah, I found it.
Isaiah 66:16.
Oh yeah, that's a classic right there.
Yes.
I guess you could go there. I'll look for something for Rebuke.
Isaiah 68.
Isaiah 66,
Verse 6.
No, I'm trying to look for a scripture that I wrote. Well, you can pull it on a heap or.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 68, verse 16. So, I'm sorry. Isaiah 66, verse 16.
Read out.
For by fire.
By what?
For by fire.
By fire. How the Most High destroyed the world the first time?
Water.
By water. But this thing is coming with fire, read.
And by his swords will the Most High plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Most High shall be many.
Shall be who?
Shall be many.
Shall be little.
Shall be many.
Read.
Verse 17.
That's it? Oh, okay. That's on there. Okay. Yeah, that's a very classic scripture right there. The churches definitely won't dive into it. They would definitely go, oh man. Pastor probably sorry and skip that over. He said, oh no. The whole congregation gonna leave if I bring that scripture out. They don't want to hear nothing but death, destruction. Okay, they just want to hear rainbows and flowers and the sunshine. That's what we want to hear. All right, let's see here. I'll look for this one at Rebuke. Chapter 6. Oh, okay, yeah. The book of Baruch, chapter 6, and just read 1 through 3.
I'm right there.
Yeah.
It's the book of Baruch, chapter 6, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Because of the sin which ye have committed before the Most High.
It said, because of the sin which we committed before Yahweh, read.
You shall be led away captive.
Led by what?
Away captive.
Away captive.
Into Babylon.
Into where?
Into Babylon.
What is America?
Into Babylon.
Into Babylon. Read.
By Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Babylonians.
King of the Babylonians. Read.
So when ye become unto Babylon, ye shall remain there many years.
How many years?
Many years.
Many years. Read.
And for a long season.
You say for a long season, man. Read.
Namely, 7 generations.
How many generations?
7 generations.
7 generations, man. Read.
And after that, I will bring you away peacefully. I will bring you away peaceably from thence.
He said, and after that, I will bring you away peaceably from there, or thence. Man, that's crazy, boy. We stay in captivity, man. Just like to this day, ain't nothing changed, man. We still here. You understand? We still here as a nation of people, boy. Let me get the book of Esther, And we're going to go to chapter 3, verse 1 through 15.
I was seeing chapter 4, verse 6 from Rebuke. Let me check that. It's like you said.
Yeah. Esther. That's crazy, man. All this captivity we went through as a nation of people, man. It's like we don't seem to get tired. Like, we kind of like it for some reason. To go in there so many times. That's what the scripture says. It says Israel, homeborn slave. I'm like, man.
It's like that. What's the verse?
Yeah, Esther.
What's the verse?
We're going to go into chapter 3, and we're going to read verse 1 through 15.
Okay. This is the book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
After this thing did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, how you do it?
The Agagite?
Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
Mm-hmm.
And all the king's servants that were in the king's gates bowed and reverenced Hamite, for the kings had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not.
He didn't bow down. Okay? He doesn't bow down to these other nations. Read.
Nor did him reverence.
And he paid me no mind. Read.
Then the king's servants, which were in the king's gate, say unto Mordecai, why transgressed thou the king's commanded?
He said, the king's servants approached Mordecai and said, why you transgressing the king's commandment? You know what I'm saying? Like he's supposed to bow down to them. Read on.
Now it came to pass, when they spake dearly unto him, and he hearkened unto them.
He said, wait, read it.
It's like it. And he hearkened not unto them.
And he hearkened not unto them. Read on.
That they told Haman to see whether Mordecai matters would stand. For he had told them that he was a Jew.
That he was a who?
He was a Jew.
That he was a Jew. He was proud to say, I'm a Jew.
Right.
That's right. I'm an Israelite. Read.
And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not,
and he saw that he bowed not, he was like, hold up. Read.
Nor did him reverence.
Nor did him any reverence, all right? Or any acknowledgement. Read.
Then was Haman full of wrath.
He was what?
Full of wrath.
He was full of wrath. He was hot, man. Read on.
And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone.
He wanted to lay some hands on him, boy. He wanted to throw fisticuffs for Mordecai because he didn't bow down and reverence him. Read on.
For they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai.
He said, wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. Man, he was trying to wipe us out. Read.
In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast poor, that is the lot before Haman, from the day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. And Haman said unto the king of Ahasuerus,
what do you say?
There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all the people. Neither keep the kings of laws.
He said neither keep they the king's laws, because we had our own laws. We got our own laws, statutes, and commandments that we abide by from the Most High God. Okay, we don't have to follow what everybody else is doing, and this is what we fall as nation of people. We like to, once we go into a different nation, we just happen to kind of mesh with their ways, but we have our own ways, and that's the problem with our people. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed.
That they may be what?
They may be destroyed.
May be destroyed. Read.
And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charges of the business, to bring it into the king's treasuries.
Man, it's like he put on like a bounty. Man. He said, I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries. Man, they did us some heavy bread, man. That's some bread, boy. Read on.
And the king took his rings from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
The Jews' enemy. We have enemies. And that's the thing that we don't understand. We have enemies out here, but yet, you know, how I read in Deuteronomy 7:1-3, that we're not supposed to be mingled with these nations, not to be given into marriage. Our son not supposed to give it to their daughter, the daughter not supposed to give it to our son, or to return away from the Most High. And that's a problem with us as a nation. But this generation, 2020, you know, the Christianity mess everybody's heads up thinking everybody's your friend. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what color. You know, everybody's a child of God. Everybody's a child of God. You know what I'm saying?
What they're trying to say is that the past doesn't matter. It's all, let's forget about it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's buy gonna be God. You know what I'm saying? I don't say they have that, what I like to call it, if you can't beat them, join them spirit. That's what our people got. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, though, they push that we should forget our history.
Exactly.
What's happened to us, it's all the past.
Exactly.
We're still gonna remember 9/11.
Exactly,
remember
of course.
Alamo, remember Julius Caesar, all their people.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to be remembered. That's history. We have to know that stuff.
Exactly.
But anything that happened to us, it's the past.
Exactly.
Let it go.
It's the same thing with the Holocaust. They push that thing so hard.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They want us to remember everybody else's tribulations, but our own, you gotta sweep that under the rug.
And you can't even dare speak against it.
Exactly.
You'll be in trouble.
You'll be in trouble. That's what's so messed up, man. And you know, we have to come back to our nationality, come back to who we are as a nation of people, and we have to understand that we have a rich history, and a lot of people don't know that. So that's the reason why we go out to how the Bible is to teach and to reach our people. You're not gonna do nothing in the church house. How far can you reach? If you see the same people every Sunday, who are you reaching? You got to go out to the streets. You got to go out to the corners. You have to reach different people every time.
That's being selfish. You just
yeah,
want to give it to them.
Exactly. It's like you being selfish. You keep everything within the four corners of the building.
You said that I'm sent to the people that are sick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you mean. You understand? We have to go out to them. You can't do nothing within the four walls of the congregation. They already know what's going on within the four walls. But you got to go outside of that to reach the people. And that's the thing that tripped me out. You have all these churches, but the neighborhood hasn't changed. I thought the purpose was having churches to make the neighborhood change.
What scripture is that the Most High, I think it's Acts, like 4, 20 and 4, something like that. The Most High does not dwell in the house.
Yeah, that's in Isaiah 66:1. You know what I'm saying? Acts 7:48. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that. It's like you sitting in one building and you telling the congregation the same thing over and over. But are they going out to tell other people? They're not going nowhere. So how you gonna reach other people if you see the same people every Sunday? Oh man, that's a trip, boy.
Let me go visit my church. Come on, give me all your money.
Let's continue. You remember where you left off?
Verse 11.
Oh, okay.
And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seems good to thee. Verse 12. Then were the king's scribe called unto the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king of lieutenants, and to the governors that were over very province.
The province, read.
And to the rulers of every people of every province according to the written thereof, and to every people after their language. And the name of the king Ahasuerus was it written, and sealed with the king's rings. And the letters were sent by post into the king's provinces.
It said the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces. I mean, it was going everywhere. They were trying to get that word out. Read.
What? To destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews.
He said all the Jews. Well, it was a plan. Read.
Both young and old.
Man, they don't care how old you is. Read.
Little children and women.
And women. Read.
And one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to take the spoil of them for prey. The copy of the reading for commandments to be given in every province was published unto all people, that it should be ready against that day. The post went out, being hastened by hastening by the king's commanding, and the decree was given in Shushan the palace, and the king of Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Shushan was perplexed.
It says the post went out, being hastened. I mean, I guess they were trying to push it out quick, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in the Shushan the palace. And the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Shushan was perplexed. Perplexed. What's that? Let me see. I've heard the word, but I can't remember what it means. You heard the definition of perplexed? That's what it is, confused.
Confusion.
Shushan was perplexed. That's what it sounds like.
I probably think it was decisive.
Completely baffled.
It's a completely baffled?
Correct.
And what else?
Very puzzled.
And puzzled.
Shocked.
I got you.
Synonym you use that would be
Complicated or confused. Okay, I got you. Okay.
confounded.
Yeah, that's a very nice popular word we like to use a lot when we go out to teach people. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, that's the one thing I know that churches don't do. They don't dwell deep into understanding of the scripture. They don't go to definitions and history. You know, the majority of the time you singing and dancing. What are you learning in these churches? I don't understand.
That's Kanye West.
He said that's Kanye West. I don't get it, man. You sing and dance, but you're not teaching people their history.
That's what his church is all about, just music and dancing.
Oh, that's what it's all about?
It's like a cult, because they have all this.
Yeah, they have this,
what was that? Everybody had
plain clothing. I don't know, man. That cat is something else.
That's crazy.
He's strange, man. He changed big time. I don't know what happened. This is what happens when you go into Holly weird. Yeah.
Do it to you.
Got some serious issues. Let me get into Apocrypha. We're going to do First Maccabees. And we're going to read chapter 1. And verse, it's going to be a lot of reading.
Chapter 1.
Something else.
He's on
He said he
we got him next time. We got you next time.
Yo, you wild, man. Alright. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verses 1 through 64.
Captain Trauma.
Alright, let's get into it.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1.
Alright, the reason that, like I said before, I'm just going into a little bit of the captivity that we've been through as a nation of people. And like I said, there's going to be a scripture on why, you know, the Most High is about revenge. So, let's get into it.
Okay. This is the book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonians, who came out of the land of Contempt, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians, and Medes,
the Persian and the Medes,
and the Persian and the Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
The first over who?
Over Greece.
Now we're going pretty much into the Greek captivity. So this is what this whole chapter is about, you know?
And made many wars.
And did what?
Made many wars.
And made many wars.
And won many strongholds. And slew the kings of the earth.
And did what?
Slew the king of the earth.
And he slew kings of the earth. Okay. Read.
And went through to the end of the earth, and took spoil of many nations, and so much. And took spoil of many nations.
He took spoils of many nations. Okay, took the riches. Read.
And so much that the earth was quiet before him.
Man, he said so much that the earth was quiet. That's crazy. Now, man, took so much spoil that the earth was quiet. Now, when it's going to be our turn, when we get into the land, it says there's going to be no more wars. So we waiting for that. We waiting for that peace. You know what I'm saying? They got their peace from killing. We got our peace for getting over to the land and come back as a nation of people. That's the piece that we're looking for as a nation. Read on.
Whereupon he was exalted.
He was exalted. He was lifted up. Read.
And his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who become tributaries unto him.
And became tributaries. We can look up that word. What's that word? Tributaries.
Like paying homage. You think that's what it is?
Oh, tributaries. What is a BOD?
Tributes. Celebrations.
Yeah. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled. Man, he said whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. Man, he was puffed up.
What?
He was big head, man. For real. What you got?
It says a person or state that pays tribute to another state or ruler.
Oh, okay. That pays tribute?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, okay, I got you. Alright. Alright, verse 5.
Verse 5. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom amongst them.
So what he did, he was, I guess it was in the moment that he was feel ill or he's going to pass away. So he's trying to call the people that he's giving the kingdom to. So he's going to part his kingdom to these different people. Read on.
While he was yet alive.
While he was yet alive. Read.
So Alexander reigned 12 years.
How long?
12 years.
So Alexander the Great reigned 12 years. Read.
And then died.
And then he passed away.
And his servants bare rules everyone in his place.
And they took over in his stead. You understand? Read.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
They did what?
Put crowns upon themselves.
And they put crowns upon themselves. They got puffed up. Read.
So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
And what?
Evils were multiplied in the earth.
And evils were multiplied in the earth. Just like how it said in John 9:24. Job 9:24, man. It said evils. It said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Man, that's crazy. Read on.
And there came out of them a wicked root. Antiochus, surname Epiphanes.
Somebody else that took his place. Read.
A son of Antiochus, the king, who had been in hostage at Rome.
At where?
At Rome.
At Rome. Read.
And he reigned in the 137 years of the kingdom of the Greeks.
And he reigned in 137 years of the kingdom of the Greeks. That's a long time to rule, man.
Yeah, that is.
Read on.
And those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
What men?
Wicked men.
We had some of our people sort of like traitors. Okay, it said those days went there out Israel wicked men. Read.
Who persuade many.
Who did what?
Persuade many.
And they persuaded others. Read.
Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
He said, let us go vote for the heathen. Let's make a covenant with the other nations. Let's make a covenant, man. It's like our people, that's what I said. You can't beat them, you join them, man. That's the kind of spirit our people got. You know what I'm saying? We go out to the polls and try to vote for these other nations. Read.
That are round about us.
That are round about us. Read.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well.
And there was people that, you know what I'm saying? Read.
Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
He said what? He said who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. Man, he gave them it's like a hall pass, so to speak. That's crazy. Oh, let me see something.
That is.
He said he gave them
That's a hall pass.
That's basically a hall pass to do wickedness, man. That's crazy. Yeah, precept, go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 15:20.
Oh, see, that's the spirit. I was just about to go there. That's the spirit, man. Who bring that out? The book of Sirach.
Sirach 15 verse 19. Oh,
Yeah. 15, what is it? Oh, the 15 and 20.
You trying to go there? Go ahead, boy.
Okay, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 15, verse 20.
Bring it up.
He had commanded no man to do wickedly.
He had commanded no man to do what?
Wickedly.
Wickedly. Read on.
Neither had he given any man license to sin.
Neither had he given any man license to sin. Man. Let's go back. That's crazy, man. He's going to give us a hall pass to commit wickedness. Read on. 14.
Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise.
Did they what?
Built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of their heathen.
It said, whereupon they built a place of exercise. Now, in modern time, what's like a place of exercise? You said Planet Fitness? What else?
Gun ranch.
No.
Yeah.
Place of exercise? No. You gotta think like sports arenas. Just like how they have a room and everything. Yeah, just like that. It's a place of exercise. Like the football stadium, the baseball stadiums. That'll be a modern way. That's why they call America like the modern Rome and Egypt. All mixed in together. Yeah, because the customs done brought over from there, they brought it way over here. Because the same people haven't left. It's the same spirit. Read on.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And made themselves uncircumcised.
Uncircumcised
And forsook the holy covenant.
And they did what?
Forsook the holy covenant.
And we forsook the holy covenant. Oh, let me see here. Okay. Okay. Go to First Maccabees 2 and 21. Just that one verse. We're gonna jump back.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 21.
Bring it out.
The Most High forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinance.
He said the Most High forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing what happened with our people, man. We got confined to these nations. You know what I'm saying? We became Gentiles, uncircumcised. We started following their ways, their philosophies, their doctrines. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to us, a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? Go back.
Verse 15. And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were so to do mischief.
And were so to do mischief, up to no good, trouble. Read.
Now when the kingdom was established before the Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt.
And he thought to reign over the land of Egypt, read, or Mizraim, read.
That he might have the dominion of two realms.
And that he might have dominion or rule. Because the Greeks, man, the Romans, they were taking over a lot of lands, man. Right. Yeah, read on.
Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude.
And he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with armies. Read.
With chariots.
With what?
With chariots.
With chariots and what else?
And elephants.
And elephants.
And horsemen. And a great navy.
And a great navy, man. He had like a fleet. He had a lot of people with him. Read.
And made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him.
And did what?
Was afraid of and fled.
And did what?
And fled.
And he ran. Read on.
And many were wounded to death.
He said, and many were wounded to death. Read.
Thus they got a strong city in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoil thereof.
And he took the spoils thereof. Okay, read.
And after the Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned against in the 140 and 30 years, and went up against Israel.
He did what?
Went up against Israel and Jerusalem.
Man, it's like after he was done with Egypt, let's go over to Israel. Let's go over there. He's trying to rule over there. Read.
He went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude.
With a great multitude. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring our military over here now. Let's see if we can conquer this side. Read.
And enter proudly into the sanctuary.
He said they did what?
Enter proudly into the sanctuary.
He said they entered proudly. Like they were happy to go into the sanctuary. And they what?
and took away the golden altar.
And took away the what?
The golden altar.
They took away the golden altar. Read.
And the candlestick of light.
And they took away the candlestick of light, like the menorah. We had the menorah right here, but they had a bigger one back then. They had a much larger size, and they took that. Read.
And all the vessels thereof.
And all the vessels thereof. You understand? Read.
And the table of the shewbread.
And they took the table of showbread. Read.
And the pouring vessel. And the vials. And the censer of gold.
And the censers of gold. Read.
And the veil of the crowns. And the golden ornaments. And the golden ornaments that were before the temple. All which he pulled off.
And he took all that. Read.
Boy, greedy, man.
Man, what else?
He took also the silver and the gold, and the precious vessel. Also, he took the hidden treasure which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre, and spoken very proudly.
Man, he's like, after that, he went back and spoke very proudly, like he was showing off all the spoils that he had taken. That's crazy. What you got?
Does this have to do with what happened in 65 BC?
It's just about there when they took over Israel.
Oh,
yeah, that's crazy, man.
So that's the great atrocity that spoke about in the book of
Babylon 10:2.
Yeah, and they also have that's how proud they are. They had like a statue. I forgot where. I think it's in Rome, where they show like all these men carrying the menorah. It's like engraved in some wall or some kind of monument. Yeah, man, they were proud, man. I'm like, man, every time I see that, it makes me mad, boy. Woo. Boy, go ahead.
Verse 25. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel.
It was a great mourning. A lot of people lamented. It was like sad about this, man. We just got overtook by this heathen nation, and they took all our spoils, right?
And every place where they were, so that the princes and the elders mourned. The virgins and the young men were made feeble.
They were made feeble. They were like weak. Like, man, what can we do? We just got like overrun. Read.
And the beauty of woman was changed.
He said even the beauty of the women was changed. It's like, man, it's like no makeup now. Read on.
Every bridegroom took up lamentation.
Lamented. Read.
And she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness.
And it was in heaviness. It was like grieving. Read.
28. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion.
It was covered with confusion. That like expression in there, like, what just happened here? Read.
And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the city of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit.
And he came in there and spake peaceable words, but it was a deceitful undertone. You understand? It was conniving. Read.
For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel.
And did what?
Destroyed much people of Israel.
He destroyed much people of Israel. Read.
And when he had taken the spoil of the city, he set it on fire.
He did what?
He set it on fire.
He done set Jerusalem on fire. Read.
And pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side.
Man.
But
yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, man. And when I see that, it makes me mad, boy. Look how they just carried everything away. It's like they just conquered us and took all the spoils, man. You got the 7-branch menorah. That's crazy.
Make a little bit up.
That's located in, where is it? Is it in Rome? Does it say where it's located?
We're going to grab all of them back.
Titus. Look at that, man. Yeah, see? Titus' triumph after the first Jewish-Roman war was celebrated with the Ark of Titus in Rome, which shows the treasures taken from the temple, including the menorah and the trumpets of Jericho. See? Ooh, boy, that'll make me mad. I don't know what does, boy. Man, but our people won't understand that. I think, Jewish people is for the so-called Jewish people. And that's their atrocity, but that's our atrocity. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know that. We've been discontinued from our heritage. You know what I'm saying? That's a color one? Oh wow, that's very in-depth. Look at that, man. Man, that's crazy. Yeah. Look at that. Uh-huh. What? I ain't never seen that version, but I always see the stone version. But yeah, this is like in depth right here. That's crazy. I don't know, man. That makes me mad, boy. Go ahead, continue.
Verse 32. But the women and the children took their captives, and possessed the cattle. Then built the city of David with a great and strong wall.
And then they built the city of David with a great and strong wall. Read on.
And with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them.
They made it a stronghold for the nation. Read.
And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals, and when they had gathered together the spoil of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare.
And it became a sore snare. Read.
For it was a place to lie in against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel.
For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Read.
Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it.
Read on.
And so much that inhabitant of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers.
Was a habitation of who?
Strangers.
Oh, hold on, let me see something here. Let's talk about something. Limitations. Yeah, Limitations 5 and 2. Oh, you start 5 and 1, and then 5 and 2. That's what happened, man. These nations just came and just overrun our homeland. Bring it out, King.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 1. Remember, O Yahweh, what is come upon us.
Remember, O Yahweh, O Most High, what has come upon us. Read.
Consider and behold our reproach.
Consider, behold our reproach. Read.
Our inheritance.
Our what?
Our inheritance.
Our inheritance. Read on.
Is turned to strangers.
Is turned to who?
Strangers.
To strangers. Read on.
Our houses to aliens.
Our houses to aliens, different nations of people. Read.
We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
Our mothers as widows. That's it. That's all that. I just wanted to get to that little scripture. Because that kind of reminded me what we just read. A different nation of people who just pretty much took over our homeland. So here we are, scattered up 4 corners of earth, and we don't belong to any of these places but Jerusalem, which is our homeland. All right. Remember where you left off?
Come.
All right.
From 38. I can start from 38 again. And so much that the inhabitant of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. Her sanctuary was laid wasted like a waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbath into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That all should be what?
All should be one people.
He said all should be one people. That's like the, what do you call it? New World Order. Everybody should be under one government. You know what I'm saying?
We all human.
Yeah, we're all the human race. You know what I'm saying? All this, you know, is being racially discriminated, but yeah, we're supposed to be all one race. I don't get it. The both sides about division, so I don't know where they get that from. Read on.
Verse 42. And everyone should live his laws.
And everyone should do what?
Should live his laws.
And these heathen nations like, you know what, y'all leave your laws. Just come conform with us. know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the Sabbaths and
Right.
the high holy days. Just come join us.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yet many also of the Israelites.
Many of the who?
Many also of the Israelites.
You say even us. Many of the Israelites did what?
Consented to his religion.
And we consented. We agreed to this religion. We agreed to merge or to join hands with the heathens. Read.
And sacrifice unto idols.
And they did what?
Sacrifice unto idols.
Read on.
And profane the Sabbath.
And they profane the Sabbath. I mean, I don't know what it, I mean, profane could be anything. It could be going off, it could be buying and selling. You know what I'm saying? Just doing something that's totally opposite of what the Most High gave us. Read on.
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the city of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Wow. He said, for the king has sent letters by messengers. So he sent a lot of messengers out throughout Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. Wow. They just took over, just overruled everything. Read on.
It changed everything.
Yeah.
And forbid burnt offerings.
And they did what?
Forbid burnt offerings.
And they forbid the burnt offerings. Read on.
And sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
And all the festival days, and all the feast days. We should profane those. Read.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
And do what?
Pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
And we were polluted as a nation of people. Read.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine flesh.
And they did what?
Sacrifice swine flesh. And unclean beasts.
And they sacrificed swine's flesh, which is an abomination. You understand? But they knew that. They knew that we're not supposed to be dwelling in these things. Swine's flesh, man, and unclean beasts.
Everything.
Yeah, they're really messed with this sanctuary. Read on.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
What?
They should also leave their children uncircumcised.
Now that's an abomination. And how many days are you supposed to circumcise the child?
After the 8 days. After the 8 days.
Yeah. But over here, it's like, you know what, do away with that. Just leave the kid the way it is. That's crazy, man. Read on.
And make their soul abominable with all manners of uncleanness and profanation. 49. To the end they might forget the law.
That they might do what?
They might forget the law.
That we might forget the law. Wow, that's crazy.
That brings me back to Psalm 83, verse 3. Like how they take like a crafty counsel.
That crafty counsel. Exactly.
Like, it's really wanted.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. These nations, they really had it out for us, man. They really want us to not remember who we were as a nation. That is crazy. Continue.
To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinance.
They said even change all the ordinances. Read.
And whosoever will not do according to the commandment of the king,
what's going to happen?
He said he should die.
He should what?
He should die.
He said he should die. Man. He said whosoever will not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Man, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
When I think about, you know, these time periods, and, you know, the BCs and all that stuff, it's like, can we really survive back then? I don't know what's much worse, back then or now.
Like some people feel like, all right, like if I was back then, I wouldn't go against it, but you wouldn't have the power to do that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have the power to do that.
Yeah, the Most High took that from you.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Them days were kind of rough. Just like slavery and stuff.
Yeah.
We knew who the enemy was,
right?
And we were united as one, but we still didn't have no power. That's the thing, because we didn't keep the law, statutes, commandments. You know what I'm saying? All the lynchings and the burnings and, you know, being hunted down by dogs and stuff. It's like, man, I don't know, boy. The Most High got timing for everybody to be born. So, I mean, what can you do? Read on.
51. In a self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the city of Judah to sacrifice city by city.
He said, in the same self manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers, people that would overlook all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. So it was going around city by city and spreading this new commandment to everybody, which is an abomination. Read.
Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land.
And they committed evils in the land. Read.
And drove Israelites into secret places.
And they did what?
Drove Israelites into secret places.
And some of us, we didn't want to partake in that, so we went to secret places to try to keep the law on the low without being seen. Read.
Even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Now the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 140 and 50 year, they set up abomination of desolation upon the altar, and built idols altars throughout the city of Judah on every side.
Man, and they built idols altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. Man, it's like you turn here, you turn this way, there's an idol here, there's an idol over there, over there. That's crazy. Read.
And burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire.
What?
That's crazy.
Man, I guess they found the scripts.
Yeah, they burned it with fire.
And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. Man, that's crazy. They wasn't playing around. Read on.
And whosoever was found with any book of the testament, or in any consented to the law, the king's commanded was that they should put him to death.
Wow,
that's crazy.
And wheresoever was found with any the book, so whoever was found with the scripts, or if any consented to doing the law, statute, commandment, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. Man, that days was rough. Read on.
Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25 days of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idols. They did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. At which time, according to the commandments, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
Wow, he said at the time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. Man, that's crazy. That's wow.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I know, right? As you get on, it gets worse. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It's rough. All right, what?
Ken. 61. Read on. 61. And they hanged the infants.
And they did what?
They hanged the infants.
And they hanged the infants. Wow. Read on.
About their necks.
About their necks. And did what?
And rifled their houses.
And they rifled the house. I mean, it was like going through stuff and throwing stuff here and checking drawers and flipping over beds. Read.
And slew them that had circumcised them.
And slew them that had circumcised them. Man. Read on.
Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
But it says, howbeit many of the Israelites were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. You understand? So there was some of us that was like defiant, you know what I'm saying? No matter what we're going through or the atrocities, we're still going to keep the law, statute, commandments. Read.
Wherefore they chose rather to die.
They did what?
They chose rather to die.
I said some of them chose rather to die than to break the laws. Read.
That they might not be defiled with meats.
That they may not be defiled with these unclean meats. You know what I'm saying? The swine and whatsoever. Read.
And that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died.
It says, so then they died. They died anyway, regardless. You know, man. Read on.
And there was very great wrath upon Israel.
And there was very great wrath upon Israel. Jump to 1 Maccabees 2:10.
2:10.
Yeah.
1 Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10.
Read.
What nation had not had a part in her kingdom and gotten on her spoils?
And gotten over spoils. Just like because we read all these captivities just to come to this. Well, it's not the conclusion of it, of what I'm about to bring out, but it's saying, what nation have not had a part in her kingdom? I mean, all these nations came over to Jerusalem to put us into captivity. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? What is it, 7 captivities? And America is the last one. And have gotten over spoils. So we're a spoiled nation, man. We just been spoiled in every which way direction. Let me get Lamentations 4 and verse, what was it? Oh yeah, verse, yeah, that's what I was about to get into. I was supposed to bring that out earlier about Lamentations, but you can bring it out now. It's a good thing I didn't bring it out earlier, but this is the reason why I'm bringing it out. The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, and verse 21 and 22.
It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 21.
Bring it out.
Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
The Most High is saying, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Read.
That dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
He said the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished. I mean, it's done with. O daughter of Zion, read.
He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
He will do what?
He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
And that's the thing we should be looking for as a nation of people. Not going into captivity again. You understand? Read.
He will visit thine iniquity. O daughter of Edom.
O daughter of who?
O daughter of Edom.
O daughter of Edom. Read.
He will discover thy sins.
And he will discover thy sins. So all this that we've been going through and all these captivity as a nation of people, the Most High is going to reverse it. The tables are going to be turned. You understand? Let me get Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 25. Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 25.
This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 25.
Bring it out.
Pour out thy fury upon the heathen.
Do what?
Pour out thy fury upon the heathen.
The Most High God said, pour out thy fury upon the heathen. Read on.
That knew thee not.
That doesn't know the Most High, y'all. Read.
And upon the families that call not on thy name.
It said, and upon the families that call not on thy name. Because not everybody knows the name of Yahweh in the Hebrew tongue. Okay? Because the law, statute, command was given to the children of Israel. It wasn't given to everybody. Read.
For they have eaten up Jacob.
For they have what?
They have eaten up Jacob.
They have eaten up Jacob. Okay? Yaiquab. Read.
And devoured him.
And they what?
Devoured him.
And we've been devoured as a nation of people. Read.
And consumed him.
And consumed us. Read.
And have made his habitation desolate.
And had they what?
Made his habitation desolate.
And have made our habitation desolate. All right. Let me get the book of Luke. Chapter 21 and verse 9 through 10. It's Luke 21. And now, pretty much we're in the so-called, well, we're in the New Testament. And this is pretty much the Roman captivity that we're about to dwell in a little bit into. You see, 21 and verse, 9 through 10.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars.
Of what?
When ye shall hear of wars.
Of wars, okay, read.
And commotions. Be not terrified.
He said, be not terrified, read.
For these things must come to pass.
He said, for these things must first come to pass. All the prophecies have to come to fruition. It has to come to pass, read.
But the end is not by and by.
He said, but the end is not by and by. Read.
Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation.
He said, nation shall rise against nations. Read.
And kingdom against kingdom.
And it's kingdom against kingdom. That's it. You understand? So we got to realize that we're going to have, the wars is going to happen. World War III has to take off. Russia and Iran and Korea, all these nations, man, they have all these nuclear technology, so they're gonna have to war with each other. So it's gonna be nation against nation. Let me get the book of Mark, chapter 13 and verse 14. Yeah, this stuff has to happen, man, because we're not gonna just walk out of here like it's a skip in the park without going through some atrocities. It doesn't make no sense at all. Mark 13, verse 14.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing way out not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains.
Said do what?
Flee to the mountains.
And we were supposed to flee into the mountains. Read.
And let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein to take any things out of his house.
It said, and let them that is on the housetop not to go down into the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of the house. That means you gotta be out of there. Read.
And let him that is in the field not turn back against for to take up his garment.
So don't even take up your garment. You just gotta go. Read.
But woe to them that are with children.
It said, but destruction to them that are with children or child. Read.
And to them that give suck in those days. And pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which the Most High created unto this time. Neither shall be. And except that the Most High has shortened these days.
And the Most High did what?
Has shortened these days.
Yeah, shortened the days. Read.
No flesh should be saved.
You said what?
No flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake.
He said, but for the elect's sake. Read.
Whom he had chosen.
Whom he have did what?
Whom he had chosen.
Whom he have chosen. Read.
He had shortened the days.
And he has shortened the days for the elect. Read.
And then if any shall say to you, lo, here is Yahushua, or lo, here is there, believe him not.
He said, don't believe him not. Read.
For false Christ shall for false Christ and false prophets shall rise.
He said, false Christ and false prophets shall rise, like these pastors. Read.
And shall show signs and wonders to seduce.
What are these pastors doing?
To seduce.
To seduce. They seduce you with these words. Read.
If it were possible, even the elect.
Even the elect. Read.
But take ye heed. Behold, I have foretold you all things.
He said, I have foretold you all things. Read.
But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened.
Shall be what?
Darkened.
Read.
And the moon shall not give her light. And the stars of heaven shall fall. And the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken.
Shall be shaken. Let me get Luke 21 in verse 20.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 20. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
It said, and when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with the Roman armies. Read on.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
It said, know that the destruction is nigh. It's upon us. Read.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
It said, flee to the mountains, which is in Africa, North Africa. Read.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the country enter thereunto. For these be the days of vengeance.
For these be the days of what?
Vengeance.
Of vengeance. Read.
That all things which are written may be fulfilled.
And they said that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So all the prophecies have to come to pass. Let me see here. Okay. Read on.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land.
For there shall be great distress in the land. Read.
And wrath upon this people.
He said, wrath upon this people. Read on.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And we should do what?
They shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And we should fall by the edge of the sword. Read.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
And we should be led away captive in all these nations. Read.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Of the who?
Of the Gentiles.
Of the Gentiles, these other nations. Read.
Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Read on.
And there shall be a sign in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nation, which perplexity the sea and the waves warring. Man's heart failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are commanded on the earth, for powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall the sea, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud with powers and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.
He said, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Because we're looking for redemption. We're trying to get up out of here.
That's right.
So let's go to Luke 1 and 68. Because the redemption is for Israel. You understand? Daniel's 9:11 tell us.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 68.
Go ahead.
Blessed be the most high power of Israel.
Of who?
Of Israel. For he hath visited and redeemed his people.
No, all people.
Redeem his people.
He said his people. It's a possessive pronoun. It means ownership. You know what I'm saying? That's his house, his keys, that's his car, his hat. You understand? Read on.
And have raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. As he spake by the mouth of his hosts.
Of his holy prophets, read.
Which have been since the world began. That we should be saved from our enemies.
That we should be saved by who?
From our enemies.
No, our friends.
From our enemies.
Our cousins.
Our enemies.
Our enemies, read.
And from the hand of all that hate us.
And from the hand of all of them that hate. We got haters. We got people that actually hate us. You know what I'm saying? All these nations is coming against us. Like it's in Psalm 83. All right, let me get John 4 and 22. We actually got people that hate us. You know what I'm saying? Because even Marshall said, people are going to hate him before they hated us. They hated him for that, for teaching the word. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put him up on the cross for being nice. Read on.
This is the book of John, chapter 4, verse 22. I should pull that one up.
Go ahead.
Ye worship ye know not what.
It said, ye worship ye know not what. Read.
We know what we worship.
But we know what we worship. You know what I'm saying? As the chosen people of the Most High. Read.
For salvation is of the Jews.
For what?
For salvation is of the Jews.
For the salvation is for everybody.
Of the Jews.
Of the Jews. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're looking for as a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? Let me get Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. You know what I'm saying? I know we hasty to get at these nations, but the scripture is going to tell us why we shouldn't be.
3 and 8?
Yeah, Zephaniah 3 and 8.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 8.
Read on.
Therefore wait ye upon me.
What we should do?
Wait ye upon me.
He said we should wait on the Most High God. Read.
Says the Most High.
Said the Most High. Read.
Until the day that I rise up to the prey.
He said until the day that I rise up to the prey. Read.
For my determination is to gather the nations.
Is to do what?
To gather the nations.
To gather all these nations. Read.
That I may assemble the kingdoms. To pour out upon them my indignations.
He said, pour upon them my indignation. Read.
Even all my fierce anger.
No, even all my fierce niceness.
Even all my fierce anger.
He said, even all my fierce anger. Read.
For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
He said, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Because the Most High, man, he's upset right now. He's hot. He's angry. Let me get Deuteronomy 32. What's that? 32 and 43. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 43. Ken? Oh, you got it?
Yeah, come.
Deuteronomy 32 and verse 43.
Okay. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 43.
Bring it out.
Rejoice, O ye
He
nations,
said, rejoice all ye nations, read.
with his people,
Uh-huh.
for he will avenge the blood of his servants.
For he do what?
Avenge the blood of his servants.
Uh-huh. He will avenge the blood of his servants. We are the servants of the Most High, read.
And will render vengeance.
And do what?
Will render vengeance.
And will render vengeance, read.
To his adversaries.
To his what?
To his adversaries.
To his friends.
To his adversaries.
To his adversaries, read.
And will be merciful unto his land.
Unto his land, Jerusalem, read.
And to his people.
And to his people, Yasharallah. You know what I'm saying? The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
All right. Let me get Jeremiah 30 and verse 16 through 17. I'm almost done, y'all. Yeah, Jeremiah 30 and verse 16 through 17.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 16.
Bring it up.
Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured.
He said, therefore, all day, everything that I read, all the captivity, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? All them, read.
And all thine adversaries.
He said all them. Read on.
All thine adversaries.
All thine adversaries. We read in Deuteronomy 32 and 43. Read.
Every one of them.
No, it's some of them.
Every one of them.
He said every one of them, read.
Shall go into captivity.
Shall do what?
Shall go into captivity.
Shall go into captivity, read.
And they that spoil thee.
And we will spoil as nation, read.
Shall be spoiled.
And they should be a spoil. We're going to spoil them back. The tables are going to turn, read.
And all that prey upon thee.
And all these nations that preyed upon the children of Israel, read.
Will I give for prey.
And there should be for a prey. Read.
For I will restore health unto thee.
Uh-huh.
And I will heal thee of thine wounds.
And he will heal us of our wounds, read.
Saith the Most High.
Saith the Most High, read on.
Because they called thee an outcast.
Because they called us an outcast. You understand? For our name should not be in remembrance, read.
Saying, this is Zion.
This is what?
This is Zion.
This is Zion, read.
Whom no man seeketh after.
Whom nobody seeketh after. You understand? They're trying to put our name to shame. They don't want us to have a remembrance of who we were as a nation of people. Let me get Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 30. We're almost through. The book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 30.
It's the book of Hebrews chapter 10 verse 30.
Read on.
For we know him that hath said, vengeance belong unto me.
What?
Vengeance belong unto me.
He said, vengeance belong unto the Most High Yah. Just like how the title is, the Most High is about revenge. Read.
I will recompense.
I will pay back. Read.
Says the Most High.
Uh-huh.
And again, the Most High shall judge his people.
Uh-huh.
It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
They say it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Now that could be twofold. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High said he's going to judge us first, and then the nations. So we got to be fearful. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into Revelation chapter 2 and verse 26. Read about the whole ending stretch.
This is the book of Revelation chapter 2 verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And he that overcome and keepeth my works unto the end.
It said, he that overcometh that keepeth my works, the law, statute, commandments. And what happens?
To him will I give power over the nations.
To him will I give what?
Power over the nations.
And he will give us power over these nations. Read.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
No, he shall rule them with a rod of feathers.
He shall rule them with a rod of iron.
He shall rule them with a rod of iron. Read.
As the vessel of a powder shall they be broken to shivers.
It should be broken to shivers. It's like taking a rod of iron and hitting pottery and watching it scatter into a lot of pieces. Read.
Even as I receive of my Father.
He said, even as I receive of my Father. Jump to chapter 3, verse 11.
Chapter 3, Revelation chapter 3, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Behold, I come quickly.
Uh-huh.
Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
The Mashiach Yahweh said, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast had, that no man take thy crown. You understand? You got to be in this for the long haul. You understand? You can't be lukewarm about this. Let me get Revelations 14 and 12. And we're gonna end it off with that. That's gonna be the last scripture.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12.
Read on.
Here is the passion of the saints.
Of the who?
Of the saints.
It said, of the saints. Read.
Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High.
He said, here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High. Yah. Read.
And the faith of a Mashiach Yahushua.
And the faith of a Mashiach Yahushua. All right, that's it. I just want to say shalom to the nation of Israel. And we got anybody on the live stream?
Questions?
Oh, okay. Who's that? Oh, okay. True Royalty, Shalom Family, Daniela. All praises to the Most High. Richard Morantis, Shalom Israel. All praise to the Most High. Akbaro Yashrola, the water. Hotness 144K. All praise to the Most High. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Shalom Yasharella. Danielle, Captain Shalom is spelled wrong, family. You know, my name been up there. He said spelled wrong. Okay, OZG. You damn right. Hashem. God is about revenge. Richard Barantis. May the Most High continue to bless the 12 tribes. Hallelujah. Maganya Allah. Judah Israel. Shalom LOZ. Richard Barantis. Israel, don't forget to press the like icon. Let's support the brothers of LOZ. Maganya Allah. Khan. Light of Zion, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that the word may reach Israel from across the four corners of the earth. R. McCrae, turning in from Asia. Shalom Kings. Wow. Or he said tuning in. Yeah, tuning in from Asia. Light of Zion, Shalom. Yeah, he went in Asia.
What?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, all praise the Most High. So, tomorrow's Thursday is going to be, you know, for the men. We have soldiers class held by Minister Marshall. And then we have Friday nights, which is the Shabbat, by Elder Bishop Labalau. He's going to go into the history. And on Saturdays, we have Judah teaching the Hebrew class from 11 to 12. And from 12 to like 5 or so will be Minister Shalimar. We get into the portion. All right. So we have the phone number if you want to call, subscribe. Understand? This is what we're here for. We're here to reach our people. Let the people know that we are the chosen people of the Most High God. And that we should come back to our help as a nation of people. And on that note, I say, you know, it's a waste of time. We're out here trying to vote for these other nations to be over us. It makes absolutely no sense at all. We're still in captivity. We haven't gone anywhere yet. We're not in the homeland. Okay? And that's about it. Yeah. Yeah. Upon your rise and face, Jerusalem. We're going to get Psalm 67 to end off the night of this Wednesday of Wisdom. Man, I feel like this is the longest class I ever did. It was kind of short. Oh, okay. All right, bring it out, King.
It's Psalm 67, verse 1. Yahweh be merciful unto us, and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us, Salah, that thy way may be known upon earth, thy saving health among all nations. Let the people praise thee, O Yahweh. Let all the people praise thee, or let the nation be glad and sing for joy, for thou shalt judge the people righteously, and govern the nation upon earth, Salah. Let the people praise thee, O Yahweh. Let all the people praise thee. Then shall the earth yield her increase, and Yahweh, even our own power, shall bless us. Yahweh shall bless us, and all the ends of the earth shall fear him. By Hashem, Mashiach Yahushua, the water.